Hi, I'm ZetBob0. This is my first review of the Glorious Helios mousepad. The Glorious Helios mousepad is uniquely designed hardtop mousepad, where with most other hardtop mousepads are generally small. This one is pretty much like a sticker. See, it's 0.5 millimeters thick. It's 18 inches by 16 inches. That's 18 inches left to right, 16 inches up and down. When I mean it's like a sticker, I mean literally it is pretty much a sticker. See, it has an adhesive base underneath it, this kind of gluey substance. And whenever you put it on your desk, it's not moving unless you risk damaging your pad to make it move. This very uniquely designed hardtop mousepad is probably the first I've ever seen of it. See, most hardtop mousepads are generally pretty small and are not very good. The Glorious Helios honestly kind of changes that. See, with it being a very big mousepad, and the fact that you can put it on your desk and have it pretty much be glued to your desk, it's almost like you're not playing on a mouse pad at all. It feels like you're playing on just your normal desk. Much like other hardtop mouse pads or plastic pads, the Helios has a very, very good glide to the point where my first week playing on this thing, my aim was pretty bad. I was constantly over flicking and just not capable of tracking my targets or over tracking them where I would flick past them in mid spray. Over the course of a week, using the help of aim trainers like Kovacs and AimLabs, I was able to dial in my sense and get used to the hardtop and the slickness of the mousepad. So, who is this mousepad made for? Well, if you're someone who wants to try a hardtop mousepad but you don't want to get a small pad, or you just want to try it out, it's honestly not a bad pad. The pros of this mousepad are the fact that it's as big as its cloth counterparts. See, my previous mousepad was the Zowie GSR and the Logitech G640. Those were the two main pads I used for over 2 years. And honestly, the Helios is about the same size as both of those, which is something I'm not expecting from a hard pad. The other pro is consistency. See, much like with cloth mouse pads, where the fabric will get worn down, plastic pads are kind of unique where even though they will get worn down and get slower over time, for some reason, at least for me, it feels like I can be more consistent. See, I'm recording this about 4 weeks after I got the mouse pad, and honestly, it feels the same as it did on day one. The other pro I like to it is the fact that with most mouse pads, even cloth mouse pads that are thin, like the Logitech G640, is they always, at least for me, I always notice their presence. With the Glorious Helios, I don't even notice it's there, and I feel like I'm playing on my desk, which is a big plus for me. The comfortability is what you should really be looking for when buying any type of product, from mousepad, keyboards, mouse. And the fact that I can play and be consistent and be comfortable with my setup now definitely is a big plus for me. Now for the negatives. Well, because the mousepad is so thin, once you put it on your desk, if there's any type of crumbs, dust, or maybe scratches or indents in your desk, you'll feel it. I made the mistake of putting down the mouse pad before I wiped off my desk, and there were some type of crumbs and just stuff on my desk. And once I moved my mouse left to right, I felt it, and I had to take my mouse pad up and wipe it off, and then also wipe off my desk, make sure that wasn't the case. The other con I have isn't just for this mouse pad; it's for other hardtop mouse pads or plastic pads. Is your mouse feet. See, plastic pads are notorious for taking mouse feet and destroying them. And ever since I've got this mouse pad, I've noticed that my feet have been getting worn down a little bit quicker than they probably should. See, generally that's not that big of a deal because if you have any Razer or Logitech mice, buying mouse feet replacements is not that bad, especially if you're going to be going for just a normal mouse feet set or if you're going to be trying to go for some Hyperglides or Tiger Skates. Mousepad feet are pretty easily replaceable, and they're cheap now compared to how they were a few years ago. I will be doing a review of this mousepad in about 6 months to see if I still like it and to see what if my cons are going to be more or less depending on it. So here are my final thoughts on this mousepad. I generally don't like hardtop mousepads, but for whatever reason, I fell in love with this. I like it, I feel consistent, and I love the smoothness. For me, I was always better at my flicks than my tracking, and one thing I noticed ever since switching to this mousepad is that my tracking is really bad, and having a very fast, slick pad like this, along with a very light mouse with hyperglide feet, is I can really kind of understand more of why my tracking was bad. And I've been using it to work on it. See, I'm not under the impression of the gear makes the player. It's the player makes the gear. Your skill as a player, from game knowledge to game sense to just practice of the game you play, and also your fine aiming skills, your mechanical skills in the game, make you a good player. One of the biggest things is comfortability and consistency. And ever since switching to this mousepad, personally, my gameplay has never been better, and I feel more consistent. I definitely will still be practicing and trying to get better overall at my Kovacs and AimLab scores, but I'm glad I got this mousepad to kind of help me further understand my faults as a player. Hope you enjoyed my first review. If you would like, I'm going to be posting another video right after this one, which is going to be just a gameplay of me using the mousepad. Unfortunately, I don't have a means to record a hand cam, or else I would. If you would care to, then take a look at the gameplay. But thank you for watching. See you next time.